Hello everyone and welcome to EcoArt's class, where we always learn something cool about the planet and we make an awesome art project together. I'm here in Anza Borrego, which is a part of San Diego that's a desert landscape. What kind of plants or animals live in the desert? Sometimes it feels like nobody's home.
Hello? Anybody home?
Knock knock. Anybody home? Where'd everybody go? A desert is a dry, barren landscape that typically doesn't get a lot of rainfall, and without a lot of water, not a lot of plants and animals can actually live here, which means the ones that do are super special. It may appear that the desert is empty and without life, but there are actually a wide variety of flora and fauna that call this place home. The word flora refers to all the plant life present in a particular region, generally the indigenous native plants. Fauna refers to the animal life typical of a region, period, or special environment. So let's get ready to draw our own desert landscape to celebrate the flora and fauna that call this place home. Grab your art supplies. For this art project, you'll need a regular piece of drawing paper, a pencil, an eraser, markers, and oil pastels, but you can substitute crayons or colored pencils. Pause this video and make sure you have your supplies. Okay, let's get started by using our pencil and eraser. The first plant we're going to draw is an agave. This plant will be in our foreground. The foreground is the part of a view that is nearest to the observer, and often the most prominent feature of an artwork. We want to leave a lot of space for our desert background, so I'm going to measure the area where the agave will be with my fist, like this. Draw really lightly so you almost don't see the line. You'll erase this later. Now let's draw some leaves. Starting at the left-hand side, I'm going to draw a curved line that comes out and then back in like this, almost like a long, thin, backwards S. Now, I'll draw a small leaf with one curved line that comes to a point and then back down to the bottom. Great! Now let's draw another very similar leaf right next to it. And then next to that, I'm going to draw a longer, skinny leaf that kind of curves down like this. Every agave plant is unique, so you can make your leaves however you'd like. Just make sure the leaves are spiky and come out to a point like this, and then back down. I'm going to continue making layers of leaves behind it that come up around my fist outline. Go ahead and follow along with me. The agave plant is a beautiful, special type of plant called a succulent. Life in desert climates can be harsh and ruthless, making it very hard for many plants to survive. Succulents are special because they thrive even when conditions are very tough. There's a lot we can learn from succulents. How do you handle harsh circumstances? The agave plant is abundant in desert climates because they've adapted to absorb water very quickly. And with very little rainfall, this is an important adaptation. Great job making the agave plant in your foreground. Now let's create our desert middle ground. The middle ground is the area between the very front and the very back of your scene. We will make the middle ground in layers of rock, just like this desert scene. We will need to use our artist's eye to draw a diagonal line behind the agave plant. Starting at the left-hand side of the page, draw a diagonal line. Then once you get to the agave leaf, hop over it with your pencil and continue the same line. Hop again and keep hopping with your diagonal line behind your agave plant. Then finish the line by following to the other side of your page. Great! Now, let's add another layer of rocks behind that one. Draw a jagged diagonal line from the middle of your page to the right side of your page. Great! Now for another layer. You can make this line look like a big cliff mountain coming out of the side of your page like this. Awesome! Now, before I draw another layer, I want to draw an agave plant in the middle ground that is flowering. Agave plants flower once in their lifetime, and it's a beautiful sight to behold. So I'll draw little leaves right here like this, and 2 long lines up like this, with 3 curved lines at the top. Then I'll draw a horizontal line with a little curved line, almost like a puffy cloud shape on the end of it. I'll continue the lines with tiny puffy cloud flowers on each side, getting longer as we go down. Then I'll stop right here. Great! So this is what a flowering agave plant looks like from a distance. Now I'll draw a straight line in the background for my valley. The background is the area or scenery behind the main object of contemplation, in this case, behind our agave. Now I'll draw another jagged line for a small mountain and a big curved line for a big mountain in the distance. Now I'll draw a circle sun in the sky and tiny thin clouds. I want to make sure my clouds are very small because, remember, the desert doesn't get a lot of rainfall from its clouds. Great! Now that you've drawn your scene, we can work on outlining our agave and adding more plants and animals to the middle ground. Go ahead and erase the lines in your agave plant so you can still see them, but make sure that they're more faint. This is so that they don't show through the marker lines when we trace over it with marker. One really cool thing about the agave plant is that the middle of the plant is called the heart. So I'm going to draw in a heart right here. I just love the symbolism that the heart is the foundation for this plant to live in even the toughest environments. Now you can grab your markers to outline your agave plant. Go ahead and choose whichever colors you want. Personally, I like to go for extreme colors because the desert is an extreme climate, and I just really like to make my colors pop. Use the colors that feel good for you and be creative. But don't put away your pencil and eraser just yet because we still have more plants and animals to draw. Now that we know what flora and fauna are, let's draw some into our desert scene. Here are some options of flora and fauna to add to your Anza Borrego desert scene. I'll add just a couple of them, but please feel free to pause this video and draw your own plants and animals from any of these photos. Okay, so I'm going to start out by drawing a desert iguana. I'll draw a sideways U shape for the head with an eyeball inside and 2 curved lines for the body, with a long skinny V shape down like this for the tail. Now I'll draw some arms and legs like this. Cool, now let's make him sitting on a rock. Very nice. Now I'm going to draw an ocotillo plant. This plant looks like a bunch of long, spiky sticks standing straight in the air. You can draw them like this. So cool! Now I'll draw some barrel cactus in my middle ground. Barrel cactus are usually short and sometimes have a flower on top. I'm drawing tiny X letters in long rows inside my cacti for the spines. One of my favorite things about being in the desert is hearing the howling coyotes. Ow, ow! So I'm going to draw a coyote over here next to my agave plant. Go ahead and follow along with me to draw your own. Remember, you can rewind this video and pause it on the Flora and Fauna section to draw from any of those plants and animals as well. Okay, now that you've finished drawing, you can go back to outlining in markers. The way I'm going to complete this project is to outline all of my lines in different colored markers, then color them in with oil pastels. You can use oil pastels or crayons or even colored pencils to color them in. I just love the contrast on the colored marker outline. Have fun coloring in your unique way. There we go, we did it! Woohoo! Wow guys, that was super fun. Thank you so much for making that art project with me. Make sure to email me at heyparachute@gmail.com so I can see what you made. Until next time, see you later!